Let's talk to Rupert Bell, our royal correspondent, live for us from Westminster once again. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Let's get a look at that wonderful view of the Abbey. Fantastic there from the Houses of Parliament there. Now, look, millions of people are going to be watching this event. Many, hundreds of thousands are going to be on the streets tomorrow. Looking a bit grey and overcast where you are right now, but it's going to be a lot worse tomorrow. But preparations are still ongoing, aren't they?
Absolutely, and I'm walking here from the tube station this morning. You see the security presence is evident at every corner, and over my shoulder there are already police sort of standing guard around Westminster Abbey, because yesterday they had rehearsals. Yes, but clearly the weather has turned into a bit of a talking point, and actually it could mean that we don't actually have the fly past because of the bad weather tomorrow afternoon, which would be hugely disappointing, because one of the things after the coronation and the procession, they come out onto the balcony to appear before the crowds there, but also to watch the fly past. But the weather, I'm told, as we know, is going to be pretty wretched, but I'm just grateful that the good people at TalkTV have ensured that we have a canopy on, so I'm all right, Jack.
I'm just amazed security let you through, but, you know, that's just me. All we know is that Mrs Bell is pleased because she's getting a nice, quiet week. We've obviously, all the papers are full of pictures of William and Kate, who, shock horror, breaking news, got on a train and went to a pub in Soho. There is a lot of PR here, isn't it? There's all the stories in the news about, you know, breakaway republics from the 14 nations that currently have the king as their head of state. 6 of them saying they're going to move within the next few years, including Australia, New Zealand, away from having him as their monarch. But shoring up sort of support here, and using this as an opportunity to sort of, you know, unite people around the monarchy and, frankly, unite the country at a time when, let's face it, we do need it.
Well, we do, and obviously we've had you've been talking about the local elections, which seems to have left people, judging by what you're saying, in a completely confused and bewildered state.
Yes.
But we still have a monarchy going on, and as everything else sort of goes around, and there is a sort of constant thread that when we saw the first monarch, well, I didn't see him, I know I'm old, but not that old, but when 1066, when William the Conqueror got crowned behind me in the original Westminster Abbey. So, you know, that is the point. It is a constant throughout. And yesterday, yes, good to know that the Prince of Wales knows how to use an Oyster card, got on the Elizabethan line, PR for the new part and the sort of the new multi-million-pound line through London, and then, of course, goes and drinks a pint. And whether he did drink it, I don't know. But what the point was also from there, the crowds were surprised, you know, large. So they turned out in the, 6 or 7 deep around the Dog and Duck in Soho to see the Prince and Princess of Wales, which I hope it may be, well, in many ways, might be a precursor to what we see tomorrow, that there is a sort of last-minute decision to, well, let's go. Although when you wake up tomorrow morning and it's absolutely sluicing it down and you've got screaming children around you, there may be, well, no, let's just stay at home and watch it on TalkTV.
I like to think we're a bit hardier than that, I think. But let's talk about some, you know, other developments. Soldiers and emergency workers are going to be among those. Is it 400,000 people who are going to be getting a medal related to the coronation?
Well, they did that last time. They tend to, they do that. All the participants, I think, of the service personnel will get a coronation medal as well. So it is something that is traditionally done. So, and obviously the king, in a way, you know, he wants to try and be inclusive, and handing out medals on that scale helps him do the sort of the inclusive bit. And we've seen it the way the guest list at the Abbey is a much more meritocratic congregation for tomorrow, and people from all walks of life all over the world coming in as well. So giving out that number of gongs is all part of perhaps his effort to say, right, we're an inclusive, we're all in this together, and I'm going to respect people who are putting in the hard yards wherever it is, whatever they do. So I can see it's something that is traditional, but I couldn't tell you how many they gave out exactly at the last one. But obviously they may have even given out more, because remember there were 45,000 service personnel taking in the last one.
Indeed, yes. We don't even have enough to do that now. There's still ongoing issues over who is attending. Chinese Vice President, a man who's leading that crackdown on basic democracy protesters in Hong Kong. I've said, you know, we don't get to choose who the Chinese send. You invite the Chinese president. He says his vice president. As far as I'm concerned, that's the end of the matter. I'd be just as unhappy with the Chinese president coming myself, but, you know, there we are. But there's still a guessing game. We know who is coming and who isn't in terms of the guests of the Abbey, but there's still a guessing game over who's going to be on that balcony if and when, if we did get that fly past, or even if we don't, and it's just a wave from the King and Queen to well-wishers in their anoraks with their umbrellas up. But do we know who is going to be on the balcony yet?
Well, I think the theory is it's going to be the working royals who get the gig on the balcony. But you never know, there might be a surprise. So that might be a surprise that Harry is suddenly allowed to stand there. I don't know exactly. But that's all part of the things that are probably going on behind the scenes. And maybe that will be an optic that is very important because, as you know, from the Queen's coronation, it is one that will stand the test of time and is also a significant moment of the day when finally, after being crowned, the King will then come out and wave to the assembled tens of thousands or whatever it is in front of Buckingham Palace. Yeah,
indeed. And just finally, it turns out that the country is not convinced of one aspect of the coronation, that's for sure, and that is the Coronation Quiche. This recipe, this spinach, broad bean and tarragon quiche recipe that's supposed to be marking the King's coronation. People instead, when it comes to their street parties or probably inside their kitchen parties that people are having tomorrow, they're going to be going for good old coronation chicken from the Queen's coronation.
Can I say, I think it's absolutely disgusting too. So,
I thought you were going to say, I think it's really nice. I think, no, spinach and tarragon, lovely, but the broad beans, they're... Ugh.
Broad beans at this time of year, I like my gardening, they're not in season yet. Sorry, spinach is just about going. I'm talking about my plot in the Cotswolds, but the spinach is growing. But the broad beans are not even in season yet. I do like a bit of tarragon, but as a combination, this quiche has not rocked my boat, whereas the coronation chicken, good old standard. We will be talking about the coronation probably 70 years hence, but if we get 7 weeks out of the coronation quiche and talking about it, we'll have done well.
Absolutely. I am so looking forward to your new cookery show. This is going to be a hoot. I will absolutely watch it. Rupert Bell joining us throughout the morning. They're live from Westminster. That's a wonderful shot of Westminster Abbey.